Hi friends, this is going to be a totally different video than what we usually do. You're not always going to be entertained. I'm talking about ourselves. We're not always going to be entertained. I mean, some days you've seen it all, or some days you've eaten at all the places you're going to eat at for the week, money-wise. And we could eat out every single meal and be happy, but sometimes you just can't afford to do that. All the time, you can't afford to do that. Some days it rains. Today was a rainy day, like you're seeing here. Okay, so what do? We've got 3 games that we like to play. Jenny sometimes watches from up here, but these are not dog games, and so she can't play them. One of them is called Shut the Box, and I'm going to show that to you in a moment. This is a British pub game, and we'll show you Shut the Box. We're going to show you Quicks. If you've not played that, that's a fun and challenging game. See? Okay, nothing to eat there. And the other is a simple card game. You just need regular cards, but you need 3 decks. And it's called 313. Some very good friends of ours taught us that one back in Norfolk, Virginia. Okay, if you're not into this, look at another video of ours. We appreciate you helping us grow our channel. So if you do like this one, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, share it with some friends, and then you guys can get together and play some games together. Leave some comments down below. We love to hear your comments, and we love to be able to respond and connect with you. That's a part of the going on the journey together. Okay, you ready? I'm going to put you down, and Mom and I are going to play Shut the Box. This is Shut the Box. As you'll notice, there are 4 sides to it, and so 4 people can play, or you can have teams of 2 on each side and have 8 people playing it, but it's really made for 4 people. There are some colored die in here. The white die is for starting the game, and but your roles would be, if you're the blue player, the green player, red player, or yellow player. Here's your surface that you play on, and the object is, as you put all of these up at the beginning of your turn, your object is to shut the box. How do you do that? Well, let me show you. I've turned it so that you can see it a little bit better, and I'm going to get the dice out. Now, since it's only Renee and myself playing, we won't need all of these dice, but we will need these 2. And what color do you want, Renee?
Blue.
Blue, okay. Renee will get the blue dice. And I'm going to go with the red dice. So I'll put mine over here on that corner. All right, Renee, let's see. I'm going to play on this side here. Normally this would be facing me, but in this case I've got it at an angle so you can see the numbers and see kind of how we do it. All right, I'm going to roll 4, beat a 4. 4, okay. You go first. A 4. Now I got. How often does this happen?
Not very often.
Something is not right here. What are the chances of this? Ha! Yeah.
Yep.
6. All right.
Who goes first?
So get those. They're not needed anymore. I've got my red die now, and so what I'm going to do is do like that, and so you can see that I've got a 9. Now I can either put down the 9, or I can put any combination of 9 down, like the 5 and the 4, or the 7 and the 2. It's like golf, where you're trying to get the least amount of points. I'm always careful about the number 2 because you can end up with, if you've used your 2, what happens if you get 2 1s, snake eyes, double 1s. And so for a 9, I'm going to go ahead and hit the 9 down. Now it's Renee's turn. Renee's die is a 5 and a 2, so she did the 7 down. All right, here's a 3. Renee. An 8.
8.
A 9. I've already done my 9, so I can do an 8 and a 1. That might have been a fatal mistake, but. An 11. See, there's my 10 and 11. So I've got to find a different way of doing this. Now I know a 7 and a 4 is an 11, so we'll do that.
6 and 1.
All right, a 7. So I don't have to do the 5 and 2. It's coming down to the wire on this.
8.
And I've got a 9 again. And so obviously I can't do a 9. So my score is a 16. So we'll let Renee do her turn first.
4.
And you can't do it.
Nope.
So your final score is a 4. My final score is a 16. And so on a piece of paper, Jean on the first round is a 16, Renee is a 4. So I'd circle that 4. Renee won the first round, and then we play second round. Usually we play 10 rounds, and then the one who wins the most games out of 10 is the winner of that championship. All right, that is the game called Shut the Box. And it's a British pub game, and you can find it on Amazon. In fact, I'll put a link to it. I'll put a link to it down in the comment section. This one is by Global Dream, and it's premium quality, custom woodwork. I like this one better than some of the other ones I've seen sold on Amazon. Some of them, they're not as smooth operating. It seems like, you put this one down and it moves 3 or 4 other ones at the same time. This one is very smooth, felt covered. It's a good game. Our next game is called Quicks. It's a fast family dice game. And what's kind of really cool is it's a winner of Mensa Select. So this helps you raise smart kids. And 2 to 5 people can play it, ages 8 and up. Inside the box, which came in the black bag, inside the box, your scorecards and, again, some dice. Let me explain how this works. You have the red row, the yellow row, the green row, and the purple row, or blue, whichever color you call that. And they correspond to the dice. And you get to use all of these dice. Now, the object is to close out these rows. Once 2 rows are closed out, the game is over. Or, once 4 little boxes down here are marked X, which are bad, the game is over. Let's say it's my turn, and this is just a practice one. I'm going to roll the dice. The 2 white ones, the 6 and the 2, I would announce. An 8. Now the 8, I get to mark on any of these 4 rows, and Renee also gets to mark the 8 on any of those 4 rows on her sheet. And you always score from left to right. And the object to close that row out means I would have to close out 5 of these boxes before I could close it out with a 12 and then lock the row. And so you with that 8, that's way over here. I don't want to use that now. Certainly don't want to use it now. The red and yellow start with 2 and go to 12. The green and blue, we're going to call it, start with 12 and go to 2. And so that 8 is kind of too much in the middle. I'm not going to use that, and I don't have to use it. Now, Renee does not have to use any of it on my turn. On my turn, I could use that. Now I also have these. And I've got to score one thing, at least one thing, or I will put an X down there in that first little block, and that's a -5 for me in total scoring. So in this case, I could do the red and call it an 7 for the reds, or a 3 for the reds. That's a very good number to have, a 3, because that puts it way down here to the left. Once I do that 3, even if I got a 2, I could not use a 2, because you can never go past the left scoring. All right, so red is the potential. Yellow would be a 6 or a 10. The green, well, it's a 1, which looks good, but remember the low numbers are on this end on those 2. So the green would be either a 3 or a 7. And there you go, 7 and 3. The blue is a 12. Ooh, now that is very good. Or an 8. And so in this case, I'm not going to use the whites for the 8, but I am going to use, whoopsie, didn't mean to cheat, but I am going to use the double 6s and mark the 12 right there. And so I'll just make an X there. And now it all goes to Renee, and it's her turn. Hey, would you like to see us play one game real quick? Let's do that and see how this works. Okay, so we're going to roll to see who goes first. Renee. Renee got a 6. and I got a 3. So Renee goes first. Okay, Renee did her roll and she got a 7 with the white numbers, as you can see there. So I could mark a 7 if I wanted to, and she's doing whatever she's doing. We don't know what she's doing. And I'm not going to show her scorecard until the very end, but remember I said 7 is in the middle, so there's really no benefit at this point, at the beginning of the game, in me tying that up, because once I do, nothing can be recorded to the left of your final score in that row. And a shout out to James and Sherry Cowley in Galax, Virginia, where we've stayed before and we've showed them to you. They are the ones who taught us this game. All right, it's my turn. And so I'm going to roll all those there. And you can see that I've also got a 7. And so that white one's, that's the one you have to do first. You can't do it second, you do it first. So there's no need me recording that one. In this case, it looks like that would be the highest one that I could do with my blue row. The green row, I could do really the same score. And, or I mean, I could do an 8, but the 9 would be higher. In the reds, a 5 would be the lowest I could do, because I certainly wouldn't want to do a 4, 5, 6. And the 3, that's a 6 there. And so for me, the red, I'm going to go with a 6 right there. Now, since it's my turn, I have to mark at least one thing. Now, if I could have used that 7, and let's say that the next roll, and she did a 7, I could certainly mark that 7 because it's to the right of that, not to the left of that. But I have to do at least one. I could do 2 things, at least one thing, the white set, and then a color with a white. If I don't do at least one thing, then I've got to mark one of these down here and take my 5 points. Don't want to do that, because once that's closed off, the game is over. And she rolled a 6, is the white ones. And so, do I want to tie up the middle there? I don't think so. And that 6 has already been played, so I can't do that again. So, nothing I can do. Renee completed her turn. It's my go again. And it's an 8. The whites are an 8. There again, it's in the middle. Do I want to do that right there yet? I don't know, because all that's eliminated over there I can't use. And if it helps you, you could do this and mark out to the left of it so it helps you not make a mistake. In this case, I certainly don't want to go with a 6. Both the whites are 4, so that's kind of what I could have done. The green, I could go with a 10. The red, I can go with an 8. And the yellow, I could go with an 8. In this case, I think my best choice is the green 10. There. And Renee did 7. Man, once you get into a roll of something, it just seems like it goes over and over again. Now, in this case, I do want to do that 7 because there's nothing I could do to the left of it. And so that's 2 things on my red row. Not to be confused with Red Rum, which was Murder Backwards and The Shining. Stephen King, good book, good movie. Now there's a 3. A 3, I'm going to do that right now over on my yellow. And that closes out the 2. Now do I want to go with a 6, which I can't, a 5, which I can't, so the red is not going to happen. The 5, 6 there, or the 5, 6, 7. Man, all these 5s, kind of goofy, isn't it? So 5, 7 would be the best I could do with there or there. So I'm kind of going to have to go with it. Well, I did the 3. I don't want to close out that whole area. And so that's all I'm going to do on that one, is that 1. Because remember, I have to do at least 1. I could do 2. but I have to do at least one before I would take that mark down there.
12.
She got a 12. That is great, because I don't want to close, I can't do that yet, because I've got to do 5 of these before you can do that. And once you do that, that closes that off and locks it. And so I can't go to the left of that green there, so I'm going to do that. But I can do the 12 right there in the blue. My turn. And 11. Ooh, sweet. Because I'm going to do it right there in the blue. 11. And since I can do that 6 and a 4 right there, a 10, I'm going to do that in the blue. Because remember, I've got to do either a white set or a color set, or I can do them both, but I've got to at least do one on my turn.
Two.
Snake eyes, 2. Now, if I had closed off 5 of these, I could do the 2 and lock that one out. And you know what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to close off the blues. The blues are locked. So I put the block right there and lock it. And I can go ahead and tally that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is 28. So in the blues, I'm putting 28.
And we take the blue out.
Oh, now the blue die is removed from the game. 6.
Green's closed.
Renee just announced that greens are closed.
Game's
Now,
over.
like I said, when 2 are closed, or you have all 4 of these closed, the game is over. So remove these away from it, and let's tally this. 1, 2, that's all I did on that one. So 2 is a measly 3 points. The yellows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 15 points. And 2 up here in the red is 3 points. By the way, this is the worst game I've ever played in my life. When I add these up, I have nothing to take away. I have 49 points. Now Renee, she didn't do much better. She got 40 points. And you can see, let me move this down, move mine out of the way, and you can see how she did hers. Once I closed that off, that locked that for her. And she was able to close off the greens, and that locked that. And that's her scoring. Now she did have a -5 from one time where she could not do anything. All right, that's Quicks. And we'll put a link down in the comments where you can get this game from. Okay, this game is called 313. Some friends of ours had this made for us, Harry and Carolyn Frizzell in Norfolk, Virginia. And this is a scoring sheet. They had it custom made for us, got our pictures with the dog on it, Jenny. 313. And the dealer would be like Jean Renee, Jean Renee, Jean Renee, Jean Renee over here like this. You can have up to 4 people playing this. So player 1, player 2, player 3, so Jean and Renee. And then the 3s, the 4s, the 5s, the 6s, the 7, right on down, 10, Jack, Queen, King. You kind of get the idea there that that's 13 hands, and it begins with the 3s. The King is the 13. So King, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, like that. All right, what you do is in the beginning, each person is dealt 3 cards. And then 1 card is placed up. That is the draw pile here or there. Now, Renee would look at this right here, and she would see 2 jacks, or excuse me, she would see a jack, a queen, and a king. Bad things to have because they're each worth 10 points. She sees a 2 down here, it will not help her. That's another 2, and obviously she wants to get rid of one of these. Now, here's the thing. Whatever card that it's the turn for, like the 3s, 313 starts with 3, the 3 is the wild card. The 3 is the wild card. So if you ever wonder what card is wild, count the cards in your hand, and that'll tell you what the wild card is. So she got rid of one of the high cards, and now it would be my turn to do the same thing. I can either take one from the deck, or I can take the top card there. Either one, if I could use the queen. Let's see what I've got. I'm holding that, which there's a wild card. Looking down there is a queen. Neither will help me. So I'm going to draw a card, and that's a 2. Here's a good chance for me to get rid of something high like this ace, throw it into the discard pile, and I do not want to get caught with that, but I can keep playing with it. So she's going to leave the ace right there, unless she wants it. Now it's her turn to, and she got a 7. She's getting rid of another one of those high cards, isn't she? My turn to pick up a card. Got a king. That's not going to help me. I'll discard it. She got a 10. Now she could build on that 10 jack, and I think that's what she's going to do there. Me, that 7 will not help me. That 4, you know what? At least it gets rid of that big 10. So now I've got that. Now if I'm going to play something, it's got to be of the same suit, or it's got to be all alike, like 3 4s or 3 2s or something like that. She got rid of a jack. I'm drawing a king. It's of no use to me, so I'm discarding the king. The 9, no use. Usually a hand does not go this far. All right, Renee got a 3, which is a wild card, so she's going to go out with 3 2s. Now, me, look at that. I drew a 3. I'll put that 3 with, it doesn't really matter. I'll put it with the 4s, just to be different. And I'll lay that down. And so I'm going out, and I'll discard. You have to have a discard. So in round 1 of our game, round 1, I dealt, and I got a 0, she got a 0. So now we do 4 cards. As you do the 4 cards, the 4 is wild. The next hand, 5s are wild. The next hand, 6s are wild. 7s on like that. All right. With the 3s, you've got to have 3 of a kind or progressive, 8, 9, 10, 2, 3, 4, something like that of the same suit. In this case, the 3 is not wild anymore. None of these other ones that I have are wild, but look what Renee's got. Renee is holding 2 4s, which are wild, and a jack and a queen. All she's got to do is pick up anything and go out, and I bet that's what she does. Who dealt this one?
I did.
You did. All right, my turn. So I don't know what she's got, and so I'm going to start building things. And so I'm thinking 6, 7 of hearts. I could use that at some point, get rid of the king. She's able to go out with the queen, the jack, queen, or the jack, queen, whatever you want to do with it. Either that way or that way. So she got no points in that hand. Not gone yet, so let me draw. Ace, I certainly don't want to get caught with that now, so drop that. And I've got 15, 21, 24 points against me. Bummer. So that 24 goes right there. Her 0 goes there. And you keep adding your score up until you get to the very end. Now, when you get to 5s, you're going to have one long progression of like an 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, or 5 9s or 5 10s. Remember, the 5 would be wild. When you get to 6s, you can break this off, and you may be able to have like 3 5s, and let's say 3 kings, or a queen, king, ace, or a queen, king, joker. There are jokers in there. Or the wild card, the 6 could help you out on that. You get to 7s, kind of the same thing. 8s. When you get to 9s, you can have 3 sets of something like a 4, 5, 6 of hearts, 3 9s, and 3 queens. All the way up till you got a handful when you get to the 13 cards. Fine. And that is the way you do 313. You tally your score up, and the low score wins, kind of like golf. And it's a handful of cards when you've got 13 cards in your hand. Now, what you can do, if you've got a good memory, I don't, is let's say I had, remember the kings are wild, on that particular run of the 13s, let's say I had 3 queens. I could lay them down, face down over here. And let's say I had 3 3s, I could lay them down over here, face down. And now I'm not holding as many cards because 6 of them are already laying down. the threes and the queens. I just need to remember what I've got laid down here in case I draw a queen. I can lay it down until I'm able to lay all of them up, have my discard on the 13th one, so the 14th card is discarded. Now, on a rare occasion, especially when you only have 2 people playing, on a rare occasion, you both will end up with the exact same score. When that happens, we play 314. So we play one more hand, and the aces are wild, so you've got 14 cards to deal with. It's a fun game. It's a great game. And I'm going to put in the description how to play this, all spelled out for you so that you can. It's actually a really, really fun game, and you will like it, as anybody that's ever played this game, they love that game. I know these are weird, but this is what you have to do when it's raining in Ensenada and you can't go out and play. And there's nothing on television to watch. You've watched everything on Netflix. You've watched everything on Apple TV. You're done, and you got to play a game. So there it is. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit a like button. We appreciate it. Leave some comments down, questions down. Maybe you have a game that you like to play better. Please put that in the comment section so that we'll know and we can increase our repertoire, if you will. All right, thanks so much for watching. Share it if you want to. Subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate you joining us on the journey.